Alright, thank you very much. Hello everybody, it's your good friend Pozzible here, and I'm back in action with another look at another movie that has been watched and reviewed. This movie came out quite some time ago, and I finally got around to seeing it. Wanted to wait for the crowds to die down, as you can imagine, because I'm reviewing Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. This is not war. It's not even extinction. What is it? It's a big mess is what it is, and it was so disappointing. You know, when I first saw Transformers Age of Extinction coming out, I was a little bit excited. I noticed the changes they were making. Shia LaBeouf's character was gone, his parents were gone, so they got rid of the comic relief. They were bringing in the Dinobots, and they were bringing in some sort of invasion force. And on top of all that, they were bringing in the fact that the Autobots were like not around anymore. Optimus Prime has been like hurt really bad, so he's in like a comatose type state, and now and so it's like a question of who's going to help us defend this world. Now also, when it comes to Age of Extinction, we're looking at a very different movie than what we saw in the trailers. You know, for one thing, it turns out that the United States government has been trying to hunt the Autobots because of what happened 5 years ago in Chicago. Now that may not have been 5 years ago our time, but that was 5 years ago movie time. Mark Wahlberg is a failed inventor who keeps trying to find a way to build something to make some money for his family. And even though he's trying to take care of his daughter, and she is secretly dating a boyfriend, all sorts of stuff happens. Now they find Optimus Prime, they revive him, while Americans, of course, because you know you can't have a movie without American military being the bad guy. Americans are hunting the Autobots. They even kill one of the Autobots using the help of some other, whatever he was. I didn't really catch what he was. You know, I liked the Transformers, but I wasn't a big Transformers person. I didn't really get into the whole mythology of it, so I'm really not sure what this guy was or who this guy was. And if he was someone familiar, please explain to him who he was. He was like this intergalactic bounty hunter who went around collecting things. Collector / bounty hunter. And he was working with the humans to collect Optimus Prime. That's the one thing he wanted, and I could never really figure out why. One of the reasons I may have lost why is because the movie was so dang long. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it was just like, okay, so he wants him, but why? What did Optimus Prime do? But then again, he is Optimus Prime. A lot of people want him, stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. Couldn't really figure it out, and by the end of the movie, I really didn't care anymore, you know? It was one of those things where you just got tired of all the ramblings and running around, and just this whole pointlessness of it. You know, the worst part about it was that this was one movie that was built off of the Dinobots. If you see the trailers, the Dinobots are primarily shown, and here they're really only in it for the last 20, maybe not even 20 minutes of the show, and it was very disappointing because they really didn't matter. So much was going on, too much was going on, and all the build-up led to nothing. That was my biggest disappointment. When you saw these new Transformers, human-made Transformers, you know, there were like 50 of them, and apparently they were supposed to be better than their original. Original meaning Bumblebee. Obviously that wasn't the case, alright? And for some reason, a lot was going on, but it was just eye candy, and it was just so poorly developed. You know, it was like, let's just put this in, but let's not give a reason for it. Let's not give a history to it. Let's have a bad guy suddenly turn good guy just because of a phone call. And it didn't really connect like you wanted to, which was really sad because Transformers started off really promising. Okay? When it first started, I got the character development. I understood what was happening. And then they killed off their comic relief, and it all went downhill from there. And it just kept, and it was too bad because they had a lot to go downhill from. And it just was so disappointing. Just action for action's sake. You know, you weren't really understanding what the angst was, because all it really was somebody shooting in the distance. The final battle scene was like a version of Duck Hunt, where you just saw someone shooting. And people were just going down, apparently. But why were they going down? Why were they able to just, you know, morph out? I guess it's not a proper word, but you get my idea. You know, before they could change to liquid things and avoid being shot and avoid being hurt. But now when there's like 50 of them, they're like cannon fodder. You just shoot them and they're down and that's it. Remember the earlier Transformer movies? You could shoot these things a dozen times. They still kept coming. Now it's like one shot, they're dead. And of course you have only a few Autobots, and you have Optimus Prime's very much disillusionment and just very much angst with the human race. Now he just wants to leave us, and but luckily he has that heart-to-heart with Mark Wahlberg to turn it all around. Apparently it didn't work. Transformers: Age of Extinction doesn't live up to any kind of name. And the worst part was that they had great potential here. They had ideas, they had possibilities that could have went somewhere, could have meant something. But they threw in too much fluff. Too much fluff, not enough stuff. Too much style, not enough substance. That's why Transformers: Age of Extinction gets a pass. I was looking forward to this. I was hoping that they could have, learned from their mistakes and developed. But, in this movie, there is no development. And even the ending line meant nothing at all to us. It's like, really? Do you have any idea what you're saying? Because it really means nothing when you really think about it in the context of this universe. One shining note, though. This movie was almost say the show was definitely stole by Stanley Tucci. But then again, it's Stanley Tucci. You can expect nothing but the best from him. And he did a really great job. Mark Wahlberg did a good job, too. I have no problem with the actors. Actors, outstanding job. Directors, writers, shame on you. You really should have done better. You really should have thought this out more, fleshed it out more, and taken out a little bit of that, put in more of this. You really could have had something here. Alright guys, that's it for me for now. We'll see you at the theaters.